Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are ready. We got your watch list coming into June 25th, 2019, and I'm excited. The market looks like it did absolutely nothing, but this is very, very eerie. And again, everything we were talking about yesterday is giving us more insight into today. We're seeing the volume was low, and we're seeing what that's setting up for. So I'm saying it right now, the market is going to gap, and I might even be wrong about that. No, but in all seriousness, I have pretty much a logic. If we see a gap tomorrow, which I'm pretty confident in, and we're going to even talk about some standard deviations. Some people were asking about the option plays we made today. That came up, so I'm going to talk about that, but for the most part, I'm confident we are going to get a gap. Now, I do not know if it's up or down, but given the headline risk with low volume, it is setting up for something very, very unique here. Beyond that, we still have the same events we're looking for with G20, Iran, and all that coming into this week or the end of the week, and again, don't even forget how everything could even get pushed to next week. So it is all about finding a balance this week between time and getting close to the money, as we've discussed. But I have that. I have all the plays we've been looking at in the past, a lot of important stuff to go over, as well as a bunch of other new plays. I got a few option plays for you, and like I said, we're going to explain that standard deviation stuff. So I'm ready to go. Let's get into it. But before we do that, you need to do the most important thing. You need to post your watch list below. Tell us what stocks you're watching for tomorrow, this week, next week, whatever it may be. Add the context to it. We want to source that information. We got too many eyeballs here not to. We got that, and best of all, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/the stock market. So we are going to be going over this watch list live in the morning, and then we're going to be trading from it. So if you missed any of the plays that I'm going to show you here today that we made, we did make one on Fedex earnings that is tomorrow. We did that one live. Since you guys, again, you liked the video, you showed some love, and again too, like the video, otherwise YouTube will not show you any of our content from any of the channels, or it just lowers the odds of seeing us and increases the odds of you seeing a penny stock technical analysis video. So, I mean, hey, if you could use it, that's on you. But let's get into it. I'm not going to tease you. Let's just get straight to the keys for tomorrow. The DFDM, the down Friday, down money, it just doesn't feel the same, and the Dow held up. So we saw all across the board, the Russell 2000 was the lagger today, dropping 1.26%. But I was pretty shocked that it took so long for the Dow to even come down, but it stayed up for so long, and even right at the close, I think it could have went red there for a little bit and came up, but sadly, the official print is not counting it as a red print, so that doesn't accomplish, I mean, again, for the NYSE and for the S&P 500, we do have that where it is a statistical, and this is what comes into standard deviations, which we're going to talk about, but when it pretty much if the stock market closes red on a Friday and then closes red on a Monday, the chances of that happening is very, very low. It just does not normally happen, and when it does, it is signifying uncertainty in the market. So you guys could look it up. I have a video on it. We've talked about it a few times, but like I'm saying, it doesn't feel the same here because we saw this around 2 weeks ago. It is a down Friday, down Monday, but this little bit of green kind of throws everything off. But here's the key to understand with this down Friday, down Monday. It's signifying volatility. This doesn't mean just going down. This means both sides, and we've seen that happen many, many times. It's pretty much signaling either a bottom or a top, and it pretty much, once we see that signal, it's pretty much now into the next 2 weeks we could see something crazy. So again, falling in line with the G20 and everything we have, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm excited to see how that plays, but again, it just doesn't feel the same, and I don't know, man. I think it's BS. If somebody could try this, go look at the NYSE on WSJ. Go look, last time I made this video, they delay all of this data by a month now since I made that video, or I think they're just gonna, are they trying to charge me? Maybe that's it. They're like, oh, Josh Answer's got stream alerts. Now we better charge him for Wall Street Journal alerts. I don't know, man. That's stupid. I guess as we're talking about it, you guys want to see some shameless self-promotion, go check out the first link in the description for the Stream Alert, Stock Trading Bootcamp, and the Real Estate course. But ultimately, getting right back to where we need to be, watch out for, this is giving us something to swing and look for in the midterm. Now, here's the key I want you guys to understand for this whole aspect of where we are in the market. It's better to be late than wrong. Imagine going to a meeting and one scenario, you show up 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late. I mean, again, you could still get fired for that, and it's not going to be a good look. But at the same time, imagine if you showed up 10 minutes late and you go to the wrong place, or you show up on time, but then you go into the wrong place. So you could consider that a real life example, but the market, especially with options, is one of the only places where you could be late and it's actually better, but as long as you're not wrong. So that's what I'm saying here with all of these events and what we're preparing for and all the data we're going to be looking at, even a lot of these plays. it's better to kind of see how things play out than to be wrong. Today it took me a while to make some trades. Again, the volume was low. If you guys remember, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago when we had when I first got sick, or excuse me, I think it was the week before that, and it was around that area when I said that the GC was coming and a lot of people lost money. It was because of stuff like this where they wanted to get into it when, again, it just be late. It's better to do that versus trying to force a play and get there and be ahead of it when no movement's happening, because that's what we saw a lot of. And, we did make a few plays today, but if you saw today, it didn't matter what you really bought. It was very, very hard to profit off of it just because most of the action and movements all across the board were muted. So keep your eye on that, my beautiful people. But I think we're going to gap. And now I don't say gap up. I don't say gap down. Tomorrow, I know what, but I don't know where. I don't know if it's going to be up or down, but it could be up or down again. Oh yeah, Josh, he said it's going to go up. It's going to go down. I mean, if that annoys you, imagine how I feel. It's just messing with me, but all I can do is control my risk management, make a plan, and set it up there, and I'm ready to react. And again, I'm cool with being late than wrong, so I'm going to be throwing out my theories up, down, left, right, sideways, diagonal. It doesn't matter as long as your head's in the game. Just get the people who are ready and willing to adapt. There you go. But if you're looking for, I want it to go up or down, you will get slaughtered, my piggy friend. But again, my whole basis is the low volume today. So again, I said this brings something called headline risk. When volume is low, any sort of headline, good or bad, can make the markets move. But now, usually coming off of these low volume days, this has what surged some of these big gap ups we've seen. Anytime we've had the low volume, we've seen big moves. And again, a lot of times it's coming off the morning. So that's where we've seen, where's the other big gap? Again, some around here, you could really just go across the board. Any moment we really start to gap, it's usually preceded by these low volume days. But again, I think too, to kind of keep the market on their toes, that way they could get some of the tension out in the morning and it could gap up or down, and then they release it to kind of let it go towards close without having the moves added to during the middle of the day. But again, even if I'm wrong about that, I think Wednesday, it's either tomorrow or the next day, I'm expecting the gap, and then Thursday, Friday, kind of more a secular cuck getting ready for the G20 meeting. But lastly, you guys are seeing it today. It moved the market down, but the dollar is very important. The dollar's making big moves, and it's paired with oil and gold. The last thing to watch is the rates, okay? We've been watching TLT. It's been going up, but this is the whole point I've been trying to teach you guys how to become TLT stalkers, snipers, whatever you want to call it. But these moments where day after day after day, it's holding gap, and then day, that is very important to notice. So we want to see if it does capitulate at any level, but watch what the rates could do. And again, it's better to be late than wrong. And the same thing even applies on stuff like Nugget and any of those other plays. But again, we put this up on the watch list yesterday and the night before that. You guys are seeing what's happening here. My same philosophy applies, but now this is starting to go even crazy. So I guess without further ado, let's just get into the rest of the plays. So as far as this week, a lot of the plays we want to watch are in play. And I'm going to talk about the ones that we've discussed a lot at the end here. But right now, watch Snapchat, watch Twitter. I saw these today, and what I mean by watch them, I think they're interesting. They came up here. The fact that usually I think some of the bad stocks do pretty bad or do good when the market's doing a little bad. It's a good, weird way to rotate. But essentially, these started having pops. And again, the way Snap and Twitter were moving, I think it's kind of going out on a limb, but watch if anything's related to them. Or I would even look for a negative sympathy where if somebody is losing, like Facebook, Google, or anything, these guys might win in some aspects. But I think the moves, the volume, and again, Snapchat's been just killing it since that earnings, like tremendously. It's at a very, very interesting spot, and I want to see if there is anything news driven. I'm liking the volume and what's going on with there. So keep your eye out for that. I'm sure a lot of you guys like that one. You guys like the cheap stocks. And again, this is, I might even turn this to a long-term hold. I've wanted to for a very, very long time, but, I'm very, very patient at the same time too. So, slow your horses there. But that'll be really cool to watch. So keep your guys' eyes out for that. But the same thing is happening with Twitter. And then, Twitter had its move. It has been dropping lately, coming off of that $40 mark, which is very, very important. But again, anything social media ad related, if they could even start to take some share from Facebook or Amazon, again, who knows? But the fact they're doing it, I thought it was interesting. I want to keep my eyes out on those. And I think even Snapchat got a John Nigerian pump from CNBC on what they were looking for and even unusual volume. So keep your eye out for that. But now the chip makers. So AMD was, this thing did good and it would drop, but it dropped today a lot. And, a lot of people had their eyes on it. Micron just absolutely killed it. at one point. I think, oh, wait, no. And I meant killed it by going down, but which one was? I think it was NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the one who killed it, and they look good, but overall still a little bit weak. But you could see the chip makers had some moves. People were talking about the China stuff and all that. I think it could be a good move setting up into here. I like all of those stocks as well as XLNX, but kind of keep an eye in relation to Apple and Qualcomm. Don't forget how they move and kind of how important they are, especially Apple. And I'm even using Apple. Again, I'm setting up spreads for SPY puts and calls, but I'm kind of even using Apple as a way to play, get my hand in on the trade war and S&P. Think about this. If you watch that dividend video, what do you think about Apple? If I'm saying I'm going after Apple to play it like the SPY, that means it has a high. Someone fill in the blank. It starts with a B. So keep your eyes out on those chip makers. Those are going to be very interesting to watch. Again, we talked Nugget, we talked TLT, but now watch the banks. Look at Wells Fargo. Again, these are, like I say, dollar, gold, oil rates, all that stuff. But Wells Fargo is down 1.3%, but Bank of America is down a half of a percent. Watch them. Even if you put up XLF, it was very, very interesting to watch how they've played out, because it was something not quite expected. Even if you go across the board, like Goldman Sachs, it's up 1%. Go into JP Morgan, they're down 0.6%. All sorts of weird moves. I think the financials, and again, you look around, market is down today. Dow is up. Goldman Sachs is a Dow component. GS is one of those 33 stocks on the Dow, and it's up, still 0.8%. Remember, I told you guys I think last week, watch for the financials after the Fed to be, have this inverse with the market, and they could actually start holding things up here. So watch out for that. And then lastly, it's kind of not really, I don't know why I could put these in the same topic, Beyond and Zoom. So I'm going to go show you guys the play I want to make on Zoom. I was going to buy it today, but I didn't. But I guess I could show you guys now to keep it on watch. And if you guys see anything better, you better post it below. Or that would just not be nice if you just took all this information and you didn't want to contribute. But either way, it's okay, baby. God's plan. Chad still loves you. I still love you. Just keep your head in the game. Let's go. If you guys couldn't tell, I'm really excited for tomorrow. So I hope you guys are ready. That's why I want you guys in this game. And you better save your money. Don't blow it so we could actually play. But watch out for these two, Zoom and Beyond. And again, even this is what I'm saying. Give me some inspiration here, guys. Do you notice anything moving 10% today? Did you see any other stocks moving 10%, 11% when the market moves 0.1%? Those are the ones you're going to want to call out. You could give them a little star, but those are going to be the good ones that could kind of give you a little bit of different beta oh man, I gave away the other word too, but there you go. Hopefully you commented already. But keep your eyes on that. We have the Dow. Now next, these are the main ones I want to talk about. We have Fedex tomorrow. That one's going to be very important. We had the earnings, and I made a play on that one. I did a vertical butterfly on it. A vertical put spread, not a butterfly, and I'm going after it on the downside. Another way to play FedEx if the calls are too expensive is UPS, but this is a big move down, and one, it's leading into earnings, but now we've saw this IYT. This is the transport ETF, and I do not like it one bit. It's looking disgusting now. And again, if this starts to diverge, and if it diverges hard, this could leave room for the market. And, again, IYT could be a really big leader. So depending on what happens with FedEx's earnings tomorrow after hours, we could see a lot. So keep eye out for that. Watch FedEx if you want to play that. There is even a bunch of other stocks related that you could go after. And again, even Micron has earnings, and some earnings are starting to come around the quarter. So keep that in mind and don't forget. And then lastly, this was today. This is Ulta. This looks like it's pre-market, my friends. This is no pre-market. This is pre-market, but this is literally how it looked. It dropped out of nowhere today. So did Sally Beauty Supply. That's ticker SBH. It looks like an after-hours move or something, but this was off of the news that Amazon's getting into making private label beauty products for professional women or something like that. But I think that's, just the normal Amazon effect. I think watching this both sides could be a good play. I don't know about the long-term aspect. I know some girls are very, very picky with their makeup, and they got, some girls got way more. You guys, you better don't get it twisted, man. There's girls out there who they spend more on makeup than you spend on anything. They probably even make more money than you, and they spend money on makeup. I wish I was Kylie Jenner. I wish I could get into makeup. It is a big, big industry. So that being said, you can see why Bezos and Amazon wants to do that. That could be huge for them. But again, is that really going to pose a direct competition to companies like Ulta and Sally Beauty? I don't know. But I think those are going to be interesting plays. And again, hopefully you guys see here, if there's any other news event plays, post them. Tomorrow is going to be a mix of the plays that are related to the market, what's going on, rates, trade war, G20, Iran, everything and all that. Then there's going to be the individual movers. That's why I kind of like the Twitters and Snapchats. I love the Beyonds and the Zooms, and now even this Ulta, Amazon effect stuff. I kind of like that too. So keep your guys' eyes out for that, but that is the plays. Let's get to the options now. See, so I can't hold back this play from you. Oh, wait, did you guys like the video? Oh, wow. Ooh, look at that. Those likes are looking weak. So if you didn't thumbs up the video, I mean, maybe I'll just skip to the end here because we don't have enough likes to show you the plays. I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be really annoying if I did that on these videos? Zoom. Here's the play I wanted, but I want you guys to know something. This goes back to the key for today. It's better to be late than wrong, especially on these plays. If you go back live when I was looking at this play, I wanted it. I started putting in my order, and it's crazy because I think I wanted, you guys could see here. This is what happened. I wanted these today. I was like, all right, we'll put in an order at 30 cents. I didn't get filled. I canceled. I went to the 102 for 35. I didn't get filled. I said, screw that. I went 45 on the 101. I tried it again at a later date. I waited like 3 minutes. I wasn't getting them. So I think 103, I was willing to pay 30. Those are going for 20 cents now, 25 on the ask, 15 on the bid. The 101s, I was going to pay 45 for those. They're now at 35. Someone got them for 25. So you could see, they all looked even pretty decent, honestly, till one point. Even those 105s, or even if we go straight to the hundreds, I think there's, a lot better volume on there. They were at 60. They went up. That they look good from 40 cents even. They looked like they were at a bottom. Could it get much lower to only drop a lot? And they dropped 91% on a Monday. So this is good for what we want with Zoom, but I like these hundreds. I like the price point, but that's what I'm saying is the key is how much you spend on it, because I'd rather, you could be wrong. It's easy to be wrong. I'd rather be late, because now dropping an extra, I wanted my price. I set it out there. I wasn't getting it, and I guess I was kind of being a little FOMO-y, over-ambitious, but ultimately, if I didn't get filled on my price, I didn't add any more to try to get it. I pulled it and I waited. So now, even if I'm late and it starts to shoot back up, even if it goes up, 50% from here, it's going to be at that $40, $50 I wanted to try to pay anyways around here. So, hey, not too shabby. But I like these. So I like anywhere between 100 and 103. So notice I'm not getting out of this range because we haven't seen it out there. I think 103 is pushing it. If you could get below 100, awesome. But here's the key. You want to spend like $40 or less, or $30 on a weekly. And again, you can go for the July 19th, but I really don't like the July 19th because I think you're going to be spending way too much. It's to get in that $100 range where you profit in the next week. You're going to have to spend, even a 105, you're spending 145. But again, that was at $4. It is an expensive premium. But if you really want, you could always cap your gain at $2 or $3 and sell one of these and fund it. That's the best way to go about it. But I'm just going to wait on my timing with the weeklies. But again, last week with the weeklies was very, very tricky, and I don't even know if a lot of them even won. A good look, even take a look just at last week Monday, and what I mean, like a lot of them didn't won. Even the next weeks, you could have went to these hundreds. They were at 650 last Monday. They dropped to 440, shot up to 760 by Friday again. They're at 420. They're at the lower price, and then they just died and capitulated here. So that could happen, and we saw that with Zoom. And again, it gets reflected easily on the chart. Look, it makes sense why that Monday to Friday, the price didn't do anything, because look, it barely went up, but there's a high premium and high expectations. So that's why I'm saying be careful. The way we're going to really make money is getting in the money and getting these contracts cheap. But if they don't get cheap, you're not going to really get a deal. So watch out for that. The next play I like is the bib. So there wasn't enough likes on the video in the morning when I made this play, but I think there's enough likes on the video now. So I like Biogen. This is the play I want. I did it on the small Robinhood account just because I like Biogen and UNH. I think we have the catalyst from this healthcare bill, but again, Biogen isn't going to get affected as much as a UNH or a Molina would, but I simply just like Biogen where it's at. It gave up a lot of money from the failed drug or the bad drug update, and where it's at now, the fact that it's held up, it's kind of recovered. Look at, you could even see the volume paralleling with the price of the stock. It's overall looking very, very good, and it has a lot of breakout potential, especially as it gets towards these high levels, and if it gets past here with the market supporting it, it could be good. So I grabbed these 250s for $20. We got them, again, we got early in the day, but the best part is they didn't really drop too much. The thing was, I was trying to get these. You could have got them cheaper. Only reason why I paid $20 is stupid Robinhood. I sat on the bid view for so long and it would not fill. It is a nasty joke. So I don't know what to say about that. But again, the point was I only wanted to get one, and it's the same concept as Zoom. You spend a little bit amount of money. Biogen's a slow mover. It could fake you out. So if you're spending more than $30-$40 on this, just be very, very careful. If you remember last week, I took a $6 contract, literally 0.06 on Biogen, and we sold it for 90 cents. So just be smart and cautious when it comes to that. And that's why I used the Robinhood. I got a bad fill, but I'm going to watch out for this. I think all week it's going to be a good one, and even in that same respect now, we got the Biogen. I also want to look at the UNH on the options. I think they're going to be, again, either Biogen or UNH. I think some of these could be very, very good plays. The fact that, these are big moves top to bottom. They're both moving $4 or $5 in a day when they should move about $1, like 50 cents. So the catalyst, the volume, everything, I like them. They're decently volatile. And again, it's related to other news into it. I like them. I'm going to be watching the Junes. I do have, I think, July puts and stuff like that. If we can set up other plays, I will. So keep your eye out for that. And now even then, lastly, McDonald's. And now these were some of the stocks I wanted to talk about. So this isn't, I'm going to bounce back here, not on the options plays. And one, I hope you guys are ready. I think I'm going to make them. I'll do them online or on stream. I have some big plays I want to make, and I want to explain them also in the videos and some of the logic. But again, today was something, back to this whole down Friday, down Monday, looking at where the Dow is. I want you guys to understand what the Dow components are. And when you see them, Microsoft was a real leader today. McDonald's as well. It closed down and came back up. But these are, your Dow components. Even when I said Goldman, think about it. Those three companies make up now 3 companies out of 30 or 33. That's making up about 10% of the whole entire Dow Jones. So what I want, is for you guys to understand these push and pulls. But this is why I'm saying these companies are important, especially like McDonald's. They have their own value and rotational effect, but now they're also being weighted as very important. So you guys, I guess I was going to show you something, but I'll leave it there. I think it's kind of straight and simple to the point. I don't want to bore you with it, but I love you guys. I hope you're ready. I'm going to see you in the morning. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, or there in the morning, 30 minutes before open. Let's go!